Okay, well, good Saturday evening, New York Jet fans and NFL fans. It is November 10th, 2023, 10:55 p.m. We are in the midst of week 10 of the 2023-2024 season. That started off Thursday night in Chicago, where the Bears go to 3-7 and knock the Panthers down to, I believe it is 1-8, 16-13 the final in Chicago. Um, Before we go any further, and I'm sorry about the hair tonight, but it's kind of late right now. I want to send my thanks to all the men and women who served in the armed forces to guard not only our borders and coasts, but the interest of ours overseas and fighting for the freedom of others. Thank you for your service and for your courageous acts for your country. This being Veterans Day observed today, and tomorrow is actually Veterans Day. So thank you. So Jets travel to Las Vegas this weekend, and they're going to play the Raiders on Sunday night. So they're on prime time again. They're a standalone game again. This is their fourth standalone game. Um, they are 1-2 in standalone games right now. Um, and listen, there's a lot going on around this team. They say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. With this team, it's going to be what doesn't happen in Vegas. So if this team cannot get into the end zone on offense, Zach Wilson needs to stay in Vegas. If this team cannot protect Zach Wilson from getting sacked 8 times and knocked down 14 times, this offensive line needs to stay in Vegas. If Aaron Lazard, whatever his name is, Lazard can't hold on to passes and cause penalties, he needs to stay in Vegas. And if Coach Hackett and Coach Saleh cannot put together a game plan offensively, because we know defensively they can do it, they need to stay in Vegas. Um, you know, America's Playground, Sin City, whatever you want to call it, but this is what's going on. Okay? Jets need this win. This is a portion of the schedule where I looked at, and I hate to look ahead, but you look at this portion of the schedule and you say, you know what? They could beat the LA Chargers in MetLife Stadium on Monday Night Football. And you know what? If the Jet offense put 2 touchdowns on the board, they beat that team. Okay? If the special teams have been great all year, doesn't give up that punt return, they beat that team. Okay? And they're 5-3 instead of 4-4. Okay? They got to go into Vegas where Josh McDaniels, the longtime assistant to Bill Belichick, was fired 2 weeks ago. They promote interim head coach or interim defensive coach and Antonio Pierce to interim head coach. And what happens? He comes out. He lights a spark under the team. From what I understand, there was a lot of turmoil, a lot of stress working and playing for Josh McDaniels. So Antonio Pierce being elevated, I guess, gave them a light under their ass, a fire under their ass, and they went out and they won the game Sunday. Um, Take it a little too far, I guess. They lit up cigars and all that. Listen, you won a game, good for you. I'm glad, that you're happy that you won. But you act like you've been there before. All you did was win. But on the other hand, as well, I can understand, following a team where coaching staff is maybe not respected or too hard on the team, and they don't respect, Adam Gase, things like that. You see this team finally exhale, and they're happy they won, and Antonio Pierce got his first win. So what does that mean for the Jets? Are they getting a team now that's going to start rolling and start playing for this guy, or did this team hit their peak? And they came out with a fire under their ass. They came out and they won, and now they're going to go back to where they were 2-3 weeks ago. I don't know. The Jets and Raiders have had quite a bit of history, and I'd like to touch upon that now. Both original AFL teams. Of course, you have the Jets and the Raiders. The Jets beat the Raiders to go into Super Bowl III. Okay? Of course, the Jets and the Raiders, Heidi Bowl. You have the urban legend that Al Davis, the late Al Davis, called a fire drill or called a false alarm into the hotel that the Jets were playing at night before a game. I think it was a playoff game. He also called the locker room of the Jets and asked for Mark Gastineau. You have the fighting between the two teams where there's now a rule about throwing your helmet. Um, I remember quite a few games with the Raiders. 1993, never forget this. 1993, Jets and Raiders. They're playing in L.A. Jets are they stop the play or whatever it is, and the Oakland or the L.A. Coliseum clock worker keeps the clock running. Jets run out of time when it should have been clock stopped. I remember being at a game, a Sunday night or a Monday night game, in I believe it was '96, because I think it was during the Yankee World Series. Um, Rich Kotite puts a backup defensive back, Vance Joseph, I think his name was. I think it was Vance Joseph, who was a quarterback in college, to cover Tim Brown and the wide receivers on the Raiders. Jeff Hostetler, I think, throws like a bunch of touchdowns. I mean, the Jets are just destroyed on prime time. I also remember after the Jets not winning a home game in over a season, plus the first home game that the Jets won under Bill Parcells was against the Raiders, a block punt that the Jets won, won the game. And I can remember after that, me like we won, we won this game because it had been so long that we won a home game, let alone a game. That was a season after we went 1-15 and 3-13 the year before. I remember, the last game of the 2001 season, Jets supposed to play the Raiders week 2 because of the September 11th terrorist attacks. They don't play them until the last week of the season. They put them on at the end of the season. It's my father-in-law's 50th birthday. We're watching the game at the restaurant. Make it all the way home to see John Hall kick a 50-something yard kick with time running out to make it to the playoffs for the Jets to lose the following week in Oakland. That was also a game where Wayne Corbett had probably one of the best catches I've ever seen. And I've said this in videos before. The ball is overthrown by Testaverde. Corbett extends his arms, diving, tips the ball back up in the air towards himself and catches it. I was at, what was the last Raider game? A Raider game, I guess it was under, I don't know if it was under Rex, or I think it was under Rex, that the Jets beat them. I also remember the year before Coach Saleh came over. We had Adam Gase, and I forgot the defensive coordinator who we had, who all he did was curse. We thought he was going to be the next coming. Went zero coverage on the last play of regulation, and the Jets wound up losing on a Hail Mary at the end of the game. And then the defensive coordinator actually resigned after that. They were cover zero. So the Raiders and Jets have a history. I don't know their records head to head, but I think it's pretty even. I can remember this one always boggled my mind. The 2000 season. Okay, Jets are playing the Raiders. Testaverde's not playing too well. The Jets start to get momentum on defense, and Tim Brown, I believe, catches a pass, and he breaks some consecutive record. So what do? They stop the game, and they do a ceremony in the middle of the game. Smoke going off and all that. Came out that they actually sat Testaverde after, I forgot, I think it was the third quarter. Pennington came in. Pennington went up throwing his first touchdown pass that game. So, like I said, the Jets and the Raiders have history, both original AFL teams. And this game this week is tremendous. And it's tremendous for the Jets. The Raiders, I don't know if they could dig themselves out of a hole. They left some wins on the field. They are 4-5, so they played 9 games. They won 4, so they are pretty even keeled with the Jets. But the Jets have more talent, and the Jets should win this game. I'm going to get into that. I'm going to get into my picks also. So, what can we possibly talk about this team that has not been covered? I mean, let's say it again. Lost Aaron Rodgers 4 snaps into the season. Beautiful comeback from behind win against the Bills. You know, almost beat the Chiefs. We beat the Eagles. We beat uh, Denver. You know, we beat the Giants barely. You know, we had our first roughing the passer calling for us this year. So, like, what else can we do? Well, here we go. Conspiracy theories. Um, and listen, I don't know. You know, if Stephen King, you know, they say the NFL is scripted. That came out last year. The NFL is scripted. You know, and I think a lot of people believed it. But you know what? The one thing that came out that even my daughter said it was Tom Brady said, if the NFL is scripted, you think I would lose 2 Super Bowls to the Giants and lose 3 altogether? You know, so that was just it. You know, that debunked the whole um, scripted NFL. But conspiracy theories, people just flock to. They run to it. You know, I know the conspiracy theory JFK, conspiracy theory 9/11, conspiracy theory COVID, you know, scandemic, conspiracy theory, you know, elections. Everything is a conspiracy theory. You know, fake news. You know, don't watch this news. Don't get your news from here. Watch this channel. And the public just eats this up. Okay, the public eats this up. So, first conspiracy theory. Okay, Coach Sala doesn't have not call the shots with the team. It's the call for Zach Wilson to play is coming from up above. It's being Coach Sala's authority is not there. Okay, some are saying number one, Joe Douglas picked him second overall, his number 2 overall, his first pick. He's got to save face. This kid's got to develop. First thing I say is if Joe Douglas wants to save face, you get the kid and you sit him and you start winning games. And if you win games, you forget that you picked him number 2. Second one, Woody Johnson. He's saying you want Zach Wilson. Okay? He likes Zach. I know in the past he liked Tim Tebow. You know, Woody Johnson puts his stamp on this team. Could it be from Woody Johnson? Most definitely could be from Woody Johnson. I don't know. The other one is it's Aaron Rodgers along with the GM and Woody Johnson. This all came about on the Michael Kay show earlier this week. I think it was Tuesday because it wasn't Monday. Michael Kay, I mean, gave a great interview. He was very, very direct. You want to call it harsh? He was harsh, but he asked questions that we, the fans, would ask, and one of them was, you've seen what Zach can do. Why is Trevor Siemian not starting? And Coach stumbled and he said, you got me there. I plead the fifth. Okay. Michael Kay also went on, Coach said, for the last 3 years we've been trying, but, a couple of different offensive coordinators. And again, Michael Kay said, well, the common denominator there is Zach Wilson. Okay. A couple of days passed by and Coach is asked the question again. It basically answers we're all on the same page. Who is we all are? So he had to debunk or debunk, whatever the hell you call it, that conspiracy theory. Okay? That's one conspiracy theory. And they all seem to be revolving around our quarterbacks. Second conspiracy theory, okay? So Aaron Rodgers, okay, at this point is walking without a limp. He's walking without crutches. He was actually taking dropbacks and throwing the ball on Monday night pregame. I forgot who this was, but it was on Sports Talk Radio that Aaron Rodgers really did not blow out his Achilles tendon. Aaron Rodgers had a slight injury, maybe a planned injury, okay? Maybe a planned injury, but a slight injury. He did get injured, okay? And because Aaron Rodgers is against, again, here's a conspiracy, modern science, Western medicine, vaccines, and all that, he was going to prove that he could come back and overcome a ruptured Achilles tendon faster than anybody. Okay? He had the special surgery where they did something different than they usually do. Um, he started walking with the crutches earlier. Um, then he was tossing the ball. Now he's stepping back. Now he's walking. So this conspiracy theory is Aaron Rodgers did not really get hurt, okay? And he's using this as a platform because he wants to show he knows more than science, okay? In the midst of all this, people who have been accepting Aaron Rodgers to come into New York and the media, and Aaron Rodgers has been nothing less than top notch with the media here. He has barely been open with them and whatnot. Now to say no, he's an attention whore. Everything is about him. Okay, so conspiracy number 2. Third conspiracy. So Monday night, he's on the sidelines, and there's a bag on the sidelines next to him, and somebody, I don't know if he did or somebody, stepped into the bag and knocked it over, and it looks like a beacon or beaker came out of the bag filled with liquid. First thing that everybody said was it's a bong, which I don't understand why he'd have a bong on the field. Another thing was it's some liquid that he's drinking as part of rejuvenating his Achilles. Another one was it's some sort of substance that he needs to be tested. Like the conspiracy theories are just so out there that it's ridiculous. That is what this team has come to right now. And you know what? You don't have these theories if you're winning games. You beat the Chargers Monday night, and you don't have the, Salah doesn't have control over the team theory. You don't have the Rodgers wasn't really hurt theory. And I mean, you can see anybody who looked at him get hurt. His foot caught the rug of the stadium turf, and his calf you saw the pop. Okay, and now you have this with the liquid. I lost my train of thought, but going back to with Aaron Rodgers, listen, does he like the media attention? I think he does. He goes on Pat McAfee every week, whatever it is, but he has always made himself available. The other one was Zach Wilson stays on, so if he succeeds, it looks like Aaron Rodgers helped him. If he didn't succeed, then he was just beyond help. If this team is winning, you're not worried about this. You're not looking at what Aaron Rodgers says. Aaron Rodgers is okay, let's hope he comes back next year. Now it's, the other one, okay? Aaron Rodgers, I guess, has a deal with a watchmaker. I don't know if he sponsors them. I don't know if he gets paid to wear them, but he has a watch made. And supposedly, not supposedly, there was an Instagram post where there's a picture of the watch face, and one of the hands is on 12 o'clock, okay? Or on the 12. The big hand's on the 12, and then it has a date. It says 28. And he writes, just need a little bit more time. I just need a few more weeks. Everybody's saying 12, 20, I'm sorry, the 24th. Everybody's saying 12-24 is going to come back and play against the Commanders. I just don't get it. There is so much to discuss about this team, and this is what they're discussing. Let's discuss that this team has scored only 8 touchdowns in 8 games, or 9 touchdowns in 8 games. Let's discuss that Zach Wilson was sacked 8 times last week, okay? And furthermore, okay, you have, and this is what's pissing me off about the media, okay? You got the beat writers that are going to take their frustrations out, whatever. You got local radio talk show hosts that are bipolar. You have one guy calling for Coach Salah being coach of the year, and then you saying he's terrible and can't lead the team. Zach Wilson will take us out of the fire. Zach Wilson is a dumpster fire. So you have that going on, and then you have Eli Manning and Peyton Manning making fun of the Jets. Mostly Peyton. Yeah, Peyton doing some. I don't know if he was at the CMAs, wherever he was, really roasting the Jets. I guess Peyton Manning forgot that he went to the Jet organization and said hire Adam Gase. I guess he forgot that. Okay. Then you have Quentin Williams speaking to the media, and then he kind of at the end goes, "Listen, can I make a statement? Can I say something?" And he said, I never spoke to Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman came out with that Quinn told him that he's a decoy, and that's why he doesn't get any sacks. He goes, I never spoke to him. So right away, the media covered it up and said, "Oh, or made excuses." Maybe Troy spoke to Coach Sala, and that's where he got it from. But he mentioned Quincy or Quinn, and Quinn never spoke to Troy Aikman. So I don't know what the hell is going on. All I know is that if this team loses this game, okay, they fall to 4-5. They go into Buffalo the following week, and Buffalo, even though they beat them, Buffalo has a lot of talent that could beat this team in Buffalo. The Jets very rarely win in Buffalo, and then the Jets come home again, okay, on a short week. Again on a short week, they're playing Sunday. They're playing Sunday night. They have to play Monday night. The following Sunday afternoon at 4:00, then they're playing Friday after Thanksgiving to play the Dolphins for the first time this year. Okay? The Jets have to win. It's a division game. Okay? They got to get above 500 again. They got to get to 5-4. They need this win. Okay? Because winning this game means they can drop one to Buffalo or to Miami. And it would be nice if it was Buffalo because they already beat Buffalo, so they would offset. Okay? But if they beat Buffalo, then they have the tiebreaker. But that is the Jets. The Jets have to win Sunday night. It is a must-win for them Sunday night. Okay? How do you beat the Raiders? Well, first thing, sustain drives. Okay? Get across the red zone. For the love of God, get a first down when it's third down. Don't convert 3 of 14 first downs on third down. Convert 9 of 14. I'll even take 7 of 14. Okay? Put the ball in the end zone. Keep their offense off the field. Even though our defense is better than their offense, sustain drives. Get the ball to Breece Hall. Hey, here's an idea. Okay? Have the kid in the shotgun, not on the center. He's under a lot of pressure. We have a makeshift line that's still injured. How about a reverse? Throw the defense off. How about a deep pass to keep the defensive backs honest? How about that? Game plan. Okay? Give the kid some help. He's good when he rolls out. He gets him out of trouble, gets him away from the pocket. Okay? He can see the field. Do that. Think of that. Make a game plan that's smart for the kid. Field position. Tilt the field position in your favor. It was very ironic. The field goal kicker, the special teams for the Jets won the game against the Giants. Morstead's punch won the game. What is the first thing that happens Monday night after both teams go 3-and-out? San Diego scores on a punt return. Is that not Jet-like? I mean, that's just the way the season is going. So, I really think there's going to be a tough game. The Jets are favored by a point on the road. They are never favored on the road. They're favored on the road. They haven't been favored really much this year. They were favored against the Giants on the road, I think, by 2 points. But for the love of God, sustain some drives, get into the end zone. So I just want to show you my picks for this week. So there are my picks. A little difficult this week. San Fran going to Jacksonville. So West Coast team coming across, to the East Coast and down to Florida is a long trip. It's a 1:00 game, so it's an early game as well. But San Fran is favored by 3 in Jacksonville, which, I don't know if they're saying the Jacksonville defense can't keep up with Purdy. Purdy has not been great the last few weeks. But I'm going to take San Fran, giving it 3 points over Jacksonville for 2 reasons. Number one, I want to see Jacksonville try to come down to size a little bit, come back to earth a little bit. And I think San Fran has a better team overall. The Saints and Vikings, Saints giving 3 points, or I should say Saints -3, giving 3 points to the Vikings. The Vikings are at home. Listen, the Vikings had a very inspirational win last week after losing Kirk Cousins for the season. Vikings are not that great. They weren't that good with Kirk Cousins this year either. So I like the Saints giving the 3 points at Minnesota. Cleveland getting 6.5 over Baltimore. So, you know, the rival Baltimore Ravens used to be the Cleveland Browns. You know, you have Belichick, who coached Cleveland, and then they moved to Baltimore. They got rid of him, and 2 years later, they wound up winning the Super Bowl. Cleveland's defense is top notch. I think they're a number one defense. Lamar Jackson has been playing well, and it's funny because I have Lamar Jackson and Brock Purdy as my quarterbacks in fantasy league, and every other week one's better than the other, and one's worse than the other. You don't know the Lamar Jackson you're going to get. Cleveland getting 6.5 points. Cleveland can win this game. I'm not sure they are going to win this game, but taking the 6.5 points, yes. Because I don't think Baltimore's going to beat them by more than a touchdown. If Baltimore wins, it's going to be by 2 or 3. Cleveland could win this game. And our Jets. And let me explain what I'm thinking with the Jets. So the Jets are 1-point favorites in Las Vegas. Basically a pick 'em. You know, they say the home team gets between 3 and 5 points for being home. So the Jets are really giving them 1. You know, it's a 4-point, 5-point swing. All I know is you have 2 teams here, 4 and 5, 4 and 4. You know, Oakland, or I should say Las Vegas and Jets respectively. The Jet defense should dominate this game. I know Antonio Pierce is a defensive player, is a defensive coach. Jet defense is a lot more talented than the Raider offense. I also know that the stat sheet is showing Zach Wilson hasn't thrown a pick in the last 3 games. He hasn't thrown a pick since late in that Denver game. But he's lost, I believe, 5 fumbles. So there's an up and down here. The play inside special teams should not be an issue. I think the Jet defense comes back out. I think they play their asses off. I think they get after this quarterback. I think they get turnovers. Last week they had 3 or 4. Coach Salson had about 4 times where they could have had a turnover and they missed out on it. One of them was when they sacked the quarterback and Clemens went to pick up the ball instead of jumping on it, and Herbert wound up picking up his own fumble on the ground. I think the Jet defense is going to dominate from start to finish. You're going to see Quinton Williams get in there. You're going to see Quincy get in there. You're going to see Jermaine Johnson get in there. I really think they're going to be able to put pressure on them. And the Vegas offense, the Vegas run defense is the worst in the league. So you know what? Gibson, Carter, Breece Hall, run the rock. Delvin Cook, you know what? Go play blackjack or go find a Keno game in one of the casinos out there, because you were good in your heyday, but you have not shown me anything that I want you on that field. You know, and Alan Lazard, you know, if you're not going to catch the ball, go start throwing craps. Go start throwing dice. You know, I don't know. Go play the nickel slots, whatever you want to do. But the Jet defense, like they did all season, has to set the tone. And then the Jet offense, I'm going to say this, if the Jet offense puts 2 touchdowns on the board, they walk away with this game. Okay? If they don't, it's going to be a lot closer than it should. So, I'm taking the Jets. So we have San Fran giving 3 over Jacksonville. I'm taking San Fran. New Orleans, I should say, giving 3 to Vikings. In Minnesota, I'm taking the Saints. New Orleans. Cleveland getting 6.5 in Baltimore. I'm going to take the 6.5, and I still think Cleveland may win the game, but I'm going to take the 6.5. And the Jets on the road, giving 1 in Las Vegas, and I think the Jets go out there and they win and at least get us to Thanksgiving with meaningful games. You know, because then you have the Buffalo-Miami game back-to-back right there. So check us out. Listen, if you're flying out to Vegas, I think a lot of people are out there ready for flying out. Have a safe trip. Have a wonderful trip. Excuse me. I'd love to see pictures, post-game, pre-game, during the game, reports. Reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. You know, I've said this time and time again. This is a labor of love. We want to hear from other fans. You can reach us Twitter at the Jets Takeoff on Twitter. Email the Jets Takeoff at Gmail. YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the account. The account is the Takeoff. The YouTube channel under the account is at the Jets Takeoff. We're on TikTok at the Jets Takeoff, and we're on Instagram at the Jets Takeoff. You can reach us, send us pictures, send us videos, send us your commentary. Let me know what you think of the videos. This is just something I put together. We have the Fugazi music in the beginning, and there's no real production to this. This is right from my head, right from the heart. The only thing I put down on paper are my picks, just so I can remember. But everything else is just, on the fly, genuine, the way I'm feeling. All right, so have a great rest of your week and weekend. Jets play late Sunday night. I don't think I'm going to be doing a video late Sunday night unless something extremely, extremely, extremely extraordinary happens, and it warrants a video. But other than that, Monday the video will come out. Have a great rest of your weekend. Have a blessed weekend, a blessed weekend. Stay safe, and again, thank you to all the veterans for serving our country.